This week we're going to be looking at les pronoms compléments d'objet indirect. So you'll notice a lot of the wording is similar to last week's note when we did les objets directs. These are indirect. So I kept it as simple as possible. In fact, it's all in one here. It is the note and the two little exercises that you need to complete. This is right from your cahier, and I've written up here cahier pages 182, 183 et 184. If you wish, you can just do them there. It's not longer, it's still the same amount of work. It's just that in between these two exercises is a listening exercise. So that's why I condensed it onto the one page, and I am attaching it as a docx and a PDF, as some people have a preference. So you only do one. So you will see this attached twice. You only do one and submit. So let's take a look. What are these pronoms compléments d'objet indirect? We are only going to be dealing with these two right here. They are Lui and Leur. There are other ones, but for grade 9, we're only going to look at Lui and Leur. Basically, there is a singular and a plural. For anything that you are replacing that is singular, it will be Lui. Anything that is plural, it will be Leur. A little simpler than last week. Last week, if it was singular, it could have been le or it could have been la. And then if there was a vowel, it might have been L apostrophe. And then if it was plural, it was lay. Now it is only singular or plural. So if it is masculine or feminine or there's a vowel, it is going to be Lui. And then if it's plural, it will be Leur. Let's take a look at the two examples and then I'll explain this little blurb here on the side. Elle parle du spectacle à Miguel. So à Miguel is what is going to be replaced. À Miguel, we know that Miguel is one person. It is singular. There is nothing that shows that this is plural. So we know that it has to be Louis. Oui, elle, Louis, a parlé du spectacle. Notice where the Louis is placed, right in front of the entire verb form. Here we have a passé composé, and the Louis is in front of the helping verb. It is not in between the a and the parler. So it must go in front of the entire verb. The next example, tu as expliqué la compétition aux filles. No, je ne leur ai pas expliqué la compétition. Let's take a look at that. It was aux filles, definitely plural. We have an S on filles. We have the plural form of a. Okay, if this was only one girl, it would have been à la fille. So that would have been singular. This is plural, many girls. So it's O with the X, that is plural. So we know that we cannot choose Louis. It must be the plural form. So we have Leur. Once again, notice where it is placed. It is right in front of the AI, which is the helping verb, avoir, for passé composé. Here we have a negative, so the ne has kindly moved over to the left to make room for this pronoun. The pronoun must be in front of the verb. And now we have the pas after the helping verb. So je ne leur ai pas expliqué. So this example is here. I'm not sure if you're going to have an example like this in the sentences at the bottom. We'll take a look in a moment. I wanted to explain here the difference between last week's le, la, l'apostrophe, and les, besides what I already explained about the singular, and this week's Lui and Leur, is that now when we replace the noun, there is a form of a in front of the noun. We did not have that last week. And when I say a form of a, it can be any of these. Just simply a, as you saw in the first example. It could be O if it's in front of a masculine. It could be à la if it is in front of a feminine singular. It could be à l'apostrophe if there's a vowel. It could be O with the X. So any of these forms. Remember that if you see any of these singulars, it's still just going to be Louis. Just because we have all these different forms of a does not mean that we have different choices. It's either going to be Louis if it is singular, or leur if it is plural. So last week, here's an example. Tu regardes Marie. Notice there is nothing in front of Marie. There is no form of a. Tu regardes Marie, this is a direct object. And so we need a pronoun that is a direct object pronoun. It is la. Tu la regardes. This week instead, tu téléphones à Marie. Notice I had to change the verb. I couldn't have just kept it with regard because regard does not take a after it, but téléphone does. It's téléphoner à quelqu'un. So tu téléphones à Marie. I cannot replace à Marie with la because of this little a. This makes it indirect, so I must use tu lui téléphones. Also, Lui and Leur will always replace people or animals, your pets, never objects. Whereas last week when we looked at le, la, and les, it could replace people, okay? Tu regardes Marie, tu la regardes, or things. Tu veux le livre. Le livre is a thing, an object. Tu le veux. And we changed it with le. Read this over. You will not have to differentiate between the two this week, okay? You are just dealing with Lui and Leur. 2 exercises to complete. The first one, very simple, but I'm going to ask you to complete it in a certain way. So here we have à Mélanie, and you are going to decide, is it Lui or Leur? Obviously, it is singular. It is just one person. It is Mélanie. So you're going to put in here Louis. But I want you to, because they already put the blank exactly where it should go, please notice what comes after it. Here we have the entire passé composé. We are not putting Louis in between. So take a look at that. Let's look at the next one. Au garçon. So now we know we have a plural. Okay, please do not get confused with what is here. Remember, we're looking just at these and what you would use to replace these. And now you are putting it in this blank. The rest of the sentence has absolutely nothing to do with your choice between lui and leur. It is just here. So au garçon is plural. You're obviously going to be using leur. Just please note where it is placed, okay? It's easy for you, but just take a look at what comes after, just for help when you have to do your own sentence down here. Okay, so moving on to your final exercise, and I know it says partie A, even though it is your second one, but it's because I tried to mimic the cahier pages, and this is what it's called. So now you are going to replacing les mots en gras par lui et leur. Okay, and you have to rewrite the entire sentence. You're not just writing lui or leur. So let's take a look. Jason téléphone à sa copine. À sa copine, this is only one person, so it has to be lui. Okay, so that should be the easy part, deciding between lui and leur. I think you should not have a problem seeing if something is singular or plural. Now you have to rewrite the sentence. So, à sa copine is gone, okay, because we are replacing it with lui, okay? So please do not keep these red slanted words in the sentence, in your new sentence. They will be all replaced with lui or leur. And now you must place it in front of the verb. This is quite simple because that was the only other word in the sentence. Very easy to see that it is téléphone is the verb, and lui goes directly in front. So let's look at number 1. Je parle aux danseurs. We know that this is plural because of the X in O and because of the S in danseur. So you know that this is going to be leur. Ignore the rest of the sentence. Notice that these two have some words after them. Okay, this one too. You are never going to put the lui or leur somewhere over here. It has to go in front of the verb that it came before. Okay, so for those of you watching this video all the way through, I'm giving you the answer here. This is leur. So it must go in front of parle. So you would have je leur parle, and then you just finish off the sentence. For this one here, we have a plural again. So I think you know what that should be. And you need to go in front of the verb and then copy out the rest of the sentence. Okay? These next three, they're right at the end, so there's nothing to copy out. You are going to decide if this is Lui or Leur. Same with this one. I think it should be obvious for all three of these. And you're going to place it in front of the verb. Can you find the verb? And put it in front and rewrite the sentence. Make sure these do not get placed in your new sentence. Okay, so 2 little exercises. Listen to this video again. Read this over again, and you should not have a problem. Merci.